the We Wreck Records podcast.
You have that one line to just scream your fucking brains out, boom, guitar solo, perfect. And I don't know, you're fucking crying your brains out or some shit. Like that's what I want. As fucked up as it is to say, I want him to fucking cry. I want him to cry.
Hey, welcome to We Wreck Records. This week we have a really special band, Lorna Shore, an uprising bunch of upstarts from the New Jersey deathcore scene. Honestly, one of the most exciting new heavy bands in a world dominated by the old guard. You know, like we need some fresh blood. And their new album, the Everblack Festering Within Me, goes a lot of really interesting directions. And this was a really fun conversation about how to transmute grief into expression, how they put together a really complex, different album with a mood board, and what it was like kind of seeing Parkway Drive sing songs that everyone knew the words to in countries that don't speak the language, and how that kind of pushed them on to make music that's really epic. So I really hope you enjoy the show.
The reason the community is so small, there's not a lot of us. The reason we all know each other is because in a way we're all just kind of like outcasts. If you got all the metal people in the world, you put them in a percentile of the rest of the world, it's going to be like bleak. This song itself is just about going through all that, being raised in this world where you're completely different from everybody else. But regardless of it, it's like we come out the best versions of ourselves through the darkness that we grew up in this valley where it's like there's only darkness. We put ourselves here, but the idea that we've thrived here.
It's kind of part of it and just kind of accepting it and just, I don't know, just kind of going through it is the only way through it.
The only way out
in a
is
sense.
through.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way out is through.
Hi, I'm Christina. Welcome to We Rock Records, a new music podcast where we get elbows deep into music that matters. Today we have some very special guests on the podcast, Will and Adam of Lorna Shore, here to talk about their disgusting new release, I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
So,
thanks for having us.
Thank you. So first of all, when I last spoke to you, Will, you said you first found Lorna Shore through Godmaker. I wanted to
Hell yeah.
That's how we found you. How did
Adam,
you
listen.
I know, I'm listening.
We're coming back.
How did you find Will, and did you recognize his star power quickly?
I think me and Austin have known of Will just from like him being in like other bands in the area. And then I think it's just one of those things where like we've known of him. And then I remember how he got in the band was like I was looking up like covers on the internet and his YouTube wasn't his name, it was Premium Metal, and I was like, who is this person with a
Wow.
it was like this was like the Premium Metal like symbol. Yes, exactly that. And I was like,
just
who is
found
this?
it in my garage, dude.
Yes, exactly. So I found it and I was like, oh shit, like he sounds really sick. And then I think Austin reached out to him and then he sent us a cover like right away. And I was like, holy shit, like we can go play a show. All I cared about was like, we're going on tour in like 2 weeks. So we need someone to be able to play a show with. And then he like crushed it. And then it's been awesome ever since then. So yeah, I think, we found out really early on that he's great.
Awesome.
I can't believe you remembered Premium Metal, bro. You just
That's how I
fucking
found
blew
it.
my brain out.
The thumbnail wasn't even a photo of you. It was just like a black thumbnail, and I was like, "What?" and just that, I was I was like, "What the hell?"
Dude, you know who made Eric DiCarlo made that shit, dude.
That makes sense. It makes sense. It was just literally that. See, I remember seeing that. I remember it was like 4 a.m, and I was like just scrolling through like deathcore covers, and I found like it was like I think it was Signs of the Storm cover, and I was like, oh, let me click on this, and I was like, wait, this is Will. I was like, I know who this is, and then that's how he's here, and
the Jersey scene is very small. Let's put it that way. We all know each other.
Secrets don't sleep to hear.
Yeah, like New Jersey's really small. Everyone knows each other, especially like New Jersey, like music and like metal is really small in New Jersey, so everyone kind of knows each other. It's like kind of a very small like cesspool, incestuous kind of place.
Which means you can find new band members easily.
Yeah, literally.
This show is proudly presented by DistroKid, and we have a special deal for all the musicians out there looking to release their new music fast. DistroKid helps over 2 million musicians around the world release on all major music streaming platforms and YouTube. You keep 100% of your earnings, consults a huge range of features, and if you like this show, support this show by taking advantage of this incredible offer. 30% off your first year with DistroKid. Just head to distrokid.com/VIP/WeWreckRecords. This month's episodes of We Wreck Records are brought to you by Earpiece, the high-fidelity earplug brand designed to enhance your experience of live music. Their lightweight, triple patented design basically conforms to the natural shape of your ear canal, which is awesome. And it's the closest thing to custom molded without the price tag or the chronic fear that you're going to lose them. Your future self who wants to listen to live music when you're old will thank you. For 15% off your next pair of earplugs, head to earpiece.com/pages/WWR podcast. We'll put the link in the description. Definitely suss it out. This show is presented by Grillo's Pickles. Grillo's Pickles make the freshest, crunchiest, most delicious pickles. And even if you're not a pickle fan, you should try Grillo's today. Why not? Live a little. You can find them in the refrigerated section of your local grocery store. So chill out and eat a pickle. This album sounds huge. Like it's I like the idea of singing along to death vocals, just people screaming along. Like I was thinking, like a lot of it makes me think of our own Parkway Drive when you hear these kind of big songs where the crowd is almost louder than the.
That's exactly what I have a feeling we wanted for parts of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
For sure.
100%. Because, like, we did that tour of Parkway Drive, and it was just, like, we were in Europe where, like, English isn't their first language, and, like, everyone knows all the words. Not that people don't know English in Europe, but, like, everyone knows all the words, and I'm like, that's crazy. And, like, it was louder than the band, and I was like, that's insane. So I feel like that's something that, like, we, from the world that we're from, is not used to seeing, and it was just, like, crazy to be in these, like, European arenas with that band and like everyone knows every word to every song, and I was like, that's kind of nuts.
Yeah,
when you hear fucking 15,000 people go yeah at the same time, it's crazy.
It changes you. It changes you.
It's nuts.
You're different people. Well, it's important, and one of the things that is cool about them, they headlined Hellfest. And they're one of the younger bands to do that. And there is kind of a thing with headliners that it is a lot of, I don't want to say legacy bands, but older bands who kind of fill out those spots. And there's kind of, do you want to kind of ascend up to that and be headliners? And is that like a goal to headline Hellfest and, you know, be huge?
Yeah, because it's usually like you're saying, it's like Judas Priest or like Iron Maiden or like Def Leppard or Motley Crue or like, you know, we played Hellfest in France this year, and it was like Linkin Park headline. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's all bands. Yeah. It's all bands that I feel like we all grew up knowing and like have on this pedestal of like these like legacy acts. So like, yeah, I think obviously it would be amazing to headline these festivals, but like it just also just for me, it's just even nice to even like have a free ticket to go watch Iron Maiden. You know, I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll definitely gladly go be like, oh, I can go watch Linkin Park and eat a hot dog right now, and I think that's just kind of awesome. So,
it's a nice time.
I'm trying to go back to opening Hellfest. I don't know what we gotta do.
Yeah, like it's
then we can be done.
You start the music, Adam. Is that correct? And Will finishes the
more
music.
Or less.
Yeah,
more or less. Yeah,
you touch it first.
Yeah.
I really like the way you and Austin create these kind of distinct pockets of sound that evolve and kind of twist and turn. There's always a thread, but the parts are often so clear cut and interesting. It's like the opposite of pop music. How do you narrow down your ideas, especially on this album? Because there's a lot of interesting sonic things. It's kind of majestic in parts. It's heaps savage. It's all that kind of stuff.
We have like a mood board. Board, right?
Yeah, like we'll have like a board and we'll just be like, these are the ideas and themes, and like, does this idea fit this theme?
Yeah, right.
Kind of. Well, one was Planet Earth. That was one. That was one. That was Oblivion. Blue Planet was Oblivion. One was
Underworld with the gun.
Underworld with a gun. Yeah, like if you ever seen Kate Beckinsale in Underworld, it was my really bad drawing of that. One was a trophy for Unbreakable. So I feel like you won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, it was just like mood. Those are some of the drawings. The house was for Glenwood. So it was just like anything that like, does this kind of fit? Does this sound like it fits this theme?
Yeah, and
and that can we put into a song or you know, if we need if the part's like, okay, this doesn't really fit the theme, how do we make it fit the theme, or do we need a new part that fits the theme, or like whatever it is. So it's just like having an agenda, an idea for a song, and like, does this sonically fit the theme? Yes or no? It kind of helps for sure.
We've done shit where we had to rewrite an entire song and we just picked
Yeah,
it apart and then recycled parts of it
Which
yeah, yeah,
because it
yeah,
didn't fit properly the way we wanted it
yeah,
to fit.
so
yeah.
do you reference the mood board as well, Will? Like, or
The mood board is important. The mood board is on this one specifically. We were like, all right, we got to go full. I mean, we try to go full 100% on in certain things and other songs in the past on other albums. However, the most important thing that we try to take from this was like, if we're gonna go in a direction, let's just go 100% in that direction from start to finish.
sick.
So, sticking to the identity of the mood board just makes the songs come out better in a way that you can't really tell, but you know that it is better. It's like a subconscious thing. It's like, oh shit, this fits that, which fits that, which fits that. Oh, well, this song is a great song, and you're not thinking about those things when you're listening to it. You're just like, oh, the song fits. Everything in this place, everything is where it's supposed to be. It sounds like a sad song. Will is saying sad lyrics. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I think also this time around, Will had a bunch before we had like songs. Will had like, here's a bunch of ideas of stuff that I want to write about.
Oh,
So I
great.
think so I think it was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, here's ideas of certain songs, and I kind of know it can. Before we even had songs, I'm like, okay, these songs can kind of fit in one of these few directions, if you will. So then it just kind of helps to know, like, okay, what he's writing about may fit this song, and then like what song that, like, maybe I have musically, like, could fit this idea. So it's just nice that we're all on the same page. It doesn't have to be like, if having a song that feels like you win like the Stanley Cup doesn't mean that the lyrics need to be about the Stanley Cup, but it just
Oh,
like doesn't invoke that same emotion of like
really?
victory, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like
Like
there's a
Prison of
loose target.
Flesh.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
For
yes.
instance, we first got that, and it was, I think, Adam and we were talking about it, and it was just like, we need a song that. What fuck did we use for that one? What was the
I don't even.
I don't remember what the mood board was, but I remember the word that we
That
used
was
was like
that was
high tension.
Yeah, it was basically, I was like, I just want a song that like feels like anxiety and like tension and like just that sort of like feeling of like, I don't know, that any of those emotions, if you will, of like that tension and that like that stress. If the stress is probably the word, but I was like, that feeling was there, and then I remember, yeah, because even like lyrically, it's like somewhat a little bit different, but it kind of fits the theme and the vein of the direction of that. So
Really? Well,
Exactly.
this leads into what the main part of the show, which is using the songs as a jumping off point to ask you weird stuff. So,
cool.
Prison of Flesh, what would the Everblack smell and taste like?
Oh, you had the answer to that, Will. You did have the answer. Well, kind of.
Smell and taste like.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I did have the answer for that.
Yes,
Spicy
black garlic
black
miso.
garlic. There it is. Spicy black garlic miso ramen.
That sounds amazing,
That
to be
sounds
honest.
nice.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds
Yeah,
nice.
what do
Yeah,
you say that the band don't sound nice? Of course it
yeah.
sounds nice.
Yeah, that sounds very appetizing. That sounds like you'd want to have that over and over again. That
Yeah.
sounds like that sounds like perfect.
It changes the whole message of the album. I feel the
It's
Everblack festering within me. I just had a really great bowl of ramen and it
yes,
is
exactly.
within me right now.
That's right.
That's what's going on.
I think
Nailed
so.
it.
I might be biased because I just love ramen and
Yeah, I love
so
it too. I just feel
yeah.
differently. There was all this desolation and like anger and
I'm gonna be
stress
honest.
on this album.
I don't
And
want to. I don't want to eat desolation. So
I don't want to eat desolation at all.
if that's
What
on the menu, I'm not eating that.
So they're coming to get me. These demons reside within me. These ramen demons reside within me.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
What's your mind body connection like? You have a very you have a very physical instrument. There is no membrane between you and the world. What's your mind body connection like?
When we're all in when we're on stage, every single one of us have some kind of, I'm sure, like out of body. You're just out like behind your body. Your fucking body is just playing the fucking instrument. Maybe you're thinking about something else.
That is
It's like a flow
100% of the
state.
time. Yeah,
There's like
that
a
is.
flow state that you get into. So I would say if it's live, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking about. It could be anything. The body is
My
just
mind,
doing what
my
it
mind is
does.
my mind is elsewhere. My body's on autopilot. To be
Yeah?
to be honest, my body is on autopilot. I'm just like, when do I go take a shower?
You guys have practiced a lot,
That's
obviously.
what that's what you want to get into because I feel like when it goes the other way around, when you're hyper focused on it, it becomes miserable and you don't enjoy your time up
Yeah.
on stage. So it for me, it's like you want to do all the work beforehand.
Oblivion, like, I feel like Prison of Flesh kind of looks inward and Oblivion looks outward to the violence of humanity. Like, that you got all these really evocative visual lines: burn the forest, stain the ocean, split the star, fracture the earth. It's very, like, it's super cinematic, and the solo's really filthy as well. What did you kind of have that intention of, like, looking outwards, or is that not what you meant? Yeah,
I
what do you,
mean,
yeah.
I
That's
don't
definitely what you
know.
meant.
It was like we just got Blue Planet and Black Hole.
Yes.
The first thing that I heard was Black Hole, and I was like, I don't know how we got from there to Interstellar, but I mean, we all love Interstellar, and we were
Yeah.
just like, I mean, this is a sick scene. And then I think I was probably Adam, somebody brought up the idea of just like a serene, desolate, I don't know how to describe, peaceful but hopeless situation.
Yeah.
And
So
that's kind
there's
of what the Blue Planet was.
In
yeah.
Darkness kind of feels romantic.
Oh, okay,
Is
hell
that
yeah.
weird? I don't
I don't
know.
know.
We're the ones
I
I
burning
didn't.
don't
Yeah.
know.
inside. This is how it
That's
feels to be alive. Moonflowers bloom in the dark. I don't know. There's something a bit. I mean, I know it's an extreme metal song, but there's something kind of. I don't know.
I love that song, but I did not get romance.
In the same way, somebody could be like, Unbreakable is a love song. It's
It
Yeah.
not really
is.
a love song, but
It's
it
a
could
love
be.
song. It's a
All
love
right,
song.
it's a love song. We're
It's a love
unbreakable.
song.
Is what it is.
Yeah, we're as a partnership, we're unbreakable.
Yeah.
See?
You guys. You
Yeah, see?
guys. Well, what in Darkness? What would we not know about the way that was put together? Like, what kind of life experiences did you mine for that, Will?
I think it's something that every single one of us can,
Hmm.
relate to in the band. Is just the idea that I mean, growing up as metalheads, and what Adam was talking about before also is like the reason the community is so small. There's not a lot of us. And the reason we all know each other is because, in a way, we're all just kind of like outcasts. I mean, maybe not necessarily, but like because of the things that we like and the things that we do, it really separates us from the majority of what everybody else is doing in the world. Like, if you got all the metal people in the world, you put them in a fucking percentile of the rest of the world, it's gonna be like bleak. You're gonna be like, holy
Yeah,
shit,
man.
y'all are about to die like any minute now. You're the last of it. But like, I think the song itself is just about going through all that, being raised in this world where you're completely different from everybody else. But regardless of it, it's like we come out the best versions of ourselves through all of the bullshit that we've the darkness that we grew up in this valley where it's like there's only darkness. Maybe we put ourselves here, but the idea that we've thrived here and that
Yeah.
we wouldn't be the best version of us if not for it.
What helped you overcome, what kind of things did you develop internally to make you overcome challenges? Because obviously, we lose people, we go through internal drama, we do a lot of stuff. What have been the kind of tools you guys have used to get through, overcome that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't know, just writing music in general.
Right.
I mean, music was our outlet for
Yeah.
letting out those emotions. Adam and I wanted to write a sad song. I mean, obviously, he doesn't he won't do the vocals, but he could still do that in his own way with his instrument that comes out to be like Forevermore. You can hear it just sounds sad.
Hmm.
We
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely going through writing music is definitely a way to express yourself, express those emotions that like because emotions don't make sense at the end of the day. Like it's hard to make sense of it. So it's like the only way that you can almost somewhat make sense of this thing that doesn't really make any sense. So I feel like that's a good outlet to going through hard times. But I feel like it's just kind of I think for me as I gotten older, I just know that's like it's a part of life.
Yeah, man.
I think as I was younger, I'd be like, why am I going through this hard stuff? Then you end up looking back on this hard moment or this tough moment and like you're very grateful for it. So it's just like I think I've learned that it's just kind of part of it, like any sort of struggle or suffering or whatever. It's just a part of life. And I hate to be negative, but like you gotta or like bleak in a way, or it's just gotta have to deal with it, or like nihilistic, if you will.
Totally.
It's kind of part of it, and just kind of accepting it, and just I don't know, just kind of going through it is the only way
Yeah,
through it
the only way out
in a
is through.
sense. Yeah, exactly.
The only way
Someone
out is through.
Yeah.
someone said that. Sure as hell wasn't me. I'll tell you that for free.
It's true. Yeah. It's no, it's good. And I mean, well, the last time we spoke was 4 years ago, and you just lost your uncle and when you were writing the last album, and that had been a big formative thing. How have your experiences of mortality since then kind of impacted that, and how do you kind of look back on that, many years later as someone who was a huge supporter of you and what you've done, dude? Like, you guys have done amazing shit.
I don't know. I think grieving things will never get easier for anybody. It doesn't matter if you've already written a song about it or not. I think even like Adam and I both lost somebody on the while we were working on this last album, and that's why we wrote Forevermore. And I think, we'll always be writing
Solid.
about stuff like that. I think you'll always, I don't know, you'll always try and get it out there, but you'll still find another reason to want to do it again, depending on, what life experiences are getting thrown at you.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. Mortality is it's a real thing, and I'm not sure if anybody really figures it out. Maybe they think they do until they have a really crazy loss, and then they're like, "Well, I still didn't figure that shit out. This is crazy."
Can
But
I
the way
read
that we figure it out is just write music, fucking
Yeah.
make the things that help you get through these moments.
can I read you something real brief from Nick Cave?
Sure.
Okay. 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 This is from Nick Cave. I don't know why I feel like reading it to you very briefly, but I'm going to. If we love, we grieve. That's the deal. That's the pact. Grief and love are forever intertwined. Grief is a terrible reminder of the depths of our love, and like love, grief is non-negotiable. There is a vastness to grief that overwhelms our minuscule selves. We are tiny trembling clusters of atoms subsumed within grief's awesome presence. It occupies the core of our being and extends through our fingers to the limits of the universe. Within that welling Gaia, all manner of madnesses exist, ghosts and spirits and dream visitations, and everything else that we in our anguish will into existence. These are precious gifts, as valid, as real as we need them to be. They are the spirit guides that lead us out of the darkness. I don't know. He lost both his kids. He's been through some stuff. But it
Holy
makes me,
shit.
yeah, it makes me, well, I mean, Forevermore feels like a song that is, yeah, that speaks to grief 100%. Like that's a really moving, and it's very different for you guys. Like, it was cool.
Well,
Yeah.
this
What was,
song was very much not black. This one was trying not to be so I don't know how to describe it. Not like necessarily black and white about death and being metaphorical about it, but really just like going through the grieving process and then getting to the end of the song. And I remember Adam described it when we were trying to go through it. He was like, "Okay, well now we're at the end of the song. This is where you shoot the arrow, the flaming arrow into the boat." And it got to the point where we had to we took out a couple words and a couple lines and then ended up re-changing the song, and it almost makes it now where the song feels like you're going on a grief journey, where you get to this point, you feel this feeling, you're feeling this feeling, you're feeling this feeling, and the resolution at the end, there is a little bit of a resolution that makes you feel a little bit better about everything. And you have that one line to just scream your fucking brains out, boom, guitar solo, perfect, you know what I mean? And then now this guitar solo is going on, and I don't know, you're fucking crying your brains out or some shit. Like, that's what I want. As fucked up as it is to say, I want him to fucking cry. I want him to cry to that song.
I don't want to. You should be really proud of it. It's really different and it's interesting and it feels like
That
a
was definitely the hardest song on the album to write because I feel
yeah.
like that was I think I talked about this in another interview, and it's a quote I think from Leonardo da Vinci, and I
Mhm.
think it was Leonardo da Vinci or Vincent van Gogh, and it was great art isn't finished, it's abandoned. And I think that song was a situation where like I was probably losing my mind, where I was like, I want this thing to be this like crazy thing, and I was like, it'll never meet this expectation. I feel like at some point you'd be like, we have to walk away from it. And I know it was the hardest for me to be like, I want to walk away from this because it was like I'm putting this song on this like giant pedestal of like I want it to be this like grand journey of a song, which it is. It's just at the point in time when we're writing it, I'm like, we can make this more, we can make this more. Which like you can always make it more, you can always make it, but at some point you
Yeah.
have to be like, you have to step away from it. But it's a song I'm very proud of. And yeah, I think like the metaphor that we kept thinking about was like a Viking funeral, where it's like they kind of put you on this raft and then they kind of like set you ablaze, which is like a very tragic, if you think about it, like setting a dead person on a raft ablaze. It's like kind of a crazy thing, but it's like in the same time, it's like almost this beautiful thing in like this Norwegian fjords, and you're just like, wow, you're in this like crazy location, and it's just like this almost like beautiful thing, which is like a tragic thing as well as it being beautiful at the same time,
It's
which is kind of hard.
cathartic.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like accept when you really think about it and like see it, because like on some hand it's just like this is kind of crazy, but on the other hand it's like they're, the Vikings believe they're going to like the better place of being Valhalla and all that stuff like that, and
Yeah.
and I don't know, it's just like that was kind of the thing that was like my North Star during the whole thing, was like, does it feel like you're you're on your way to Valhalla and you're on this like journey, and I don't know, that's kind of like was my whole thing with that song.
It's really interesting. It's a very powerful album lyrically. It's very direct, it's very internal. How what kind of emotion did you want to have underneath it all, Will, like from a lyrical kind of perspective?
I don't think there was one emotion. I
What
think
are they
all of
then?
us we just wanted to write an album that captured many different feelings, and
Yeah.
that's why every song sounds so very different from one another. But
Mm.
I mean, I love sad songs. So I wanted to put one sad song in there at the very least. But I remember talking about it a while ago with the boys, and I was like, I want to write a song that's also just makes you feel like you're on top of a fucking mountain, and you're like, hell yeah, we fucking will never be brought down. Like you just feel so fucking good, you know. But and then at the same time, it's just like I feel like we did that, and then we got every other emotion in between as well. And so, I mean, it just feels like a big jungle juice of what makes everybody human at the end of the day. And this is why like every interview I do, I'm like, I feel like this is the most human version of Lorna Shore that we've ever had so far. It's
I
just they're all
Yeah, and I
real
think
feelings and emotions.
the biggest thing that I remember, especially early on talking about the record, especially what Will was talking about lyrics, was writing more about real stuff that he's experienced as opposed to metaphorically talking about stuff. Like using real life experiences to, not that he wasn't using real life experiences before
mm.
to talk about stuff, but this was like really like, I'm really going to lean into this is real life experience, and I want to talk about these emotions that I've experienced over this period of time. And I feel like, to me, I think that's like kind of what you're saying, it feels more human, because I feel like it's really driven, the fuel is by like actual human experiences that actually happen, not
Yeah.
like meta, like maybe there's a use of metaphor within that, but it's also like, I think, which makes it more poetic and artistic, but I think the biggest thing is that it's really fueled by actual events as opposed to like, you
Concepts.
know yeah, I
Yes.
would say so. Yes, exactly,
Well,
that's a better way of
that's
saying it.
always interesting. Like, I remember I've had conversations about like the difference between like a lot of people why they got into hardcore over like heavy metal, because heavy metal was dragons and this kind of all this kind of conceptual stuff, and hardcore was about real feelings and real streets and the world around me, and this is how I feel and all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting that wherever you guys exist in the world of heavy metal, hardcore, death, whatever, that you've found a way to kind of channel both, like the power of metal, but the immediacy of hardcore. What's your relationship with like those kinds of music? Like wherever you exist in like deathcore and heavy metal and hardcore, what's the stuff that really spoke to you and kind of impacted you the most as an artist?
Uh, I don't even know. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we all come from so many different backgrounds, and I
Yeah.
mean, it's all generally the same background, but we all have certain things in those different backgrounds or same backgrounds that we like more than others. And so, I mean, you bring all of us together, and we're not going to put something together that just doesn't make sense. So it's like, oh, well, this could sound good with this. Like, let's do
Yeah.
that, you know? Oh, let's not talk about farts and whatever. Let's talk about, I don't know, something that hurts inside, you know? That could be anything, you know? It sounds better than I got to go take a big old stupid poop. But, I mean, it's at the end of the day, Lorna Shore is just Lorna Shore. There's no, we've definitely obviously changed a lot with this album,
Yeah.
Mm.
but it's
I
all
think
still just us.
Mm.
I think there's things that I like the same way, like when it comes to, there's certain itches that I feel like I'm looking to get scratched. Like sometimes like I want to, I think what I loved about metal and like even same with like playing video games and watching like fantasy movies is like you want to escape. There's something that
Mm.
scratches that itch where you're like, my life I don't really enjoy and I want to escape that life and go to and go into a world that seems way more pleasant than the life that I'm in. but sometimes you want to lean into that sometimes, and there's something about like when you would like listen to bands that have more of an honest approach to and talking about real life stuff, like you connect to that at that point in time, but sometimes it's not always the thing you want to connect to. And I
Yeah.
think that's like sometimes you do want to face the realness of the world, and sometimes you're not ready to deal with it and you want to just run from it. And I think there's a balance to that. But I'd say the biggest thing that like I feel like is at the core of our band is just like an honest and authenticity.
What has been like the craziest peep things like fans have told you about the impact of the music?
I don't know. People get married to our music. That's pretty fucking
Really?
crazy sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Like
People have
often.
like
That's
people have like
awesome.
proposed during like Pain Remains. I remember we played a festival a few years ago and somebody got engaged during Pain Remains.
Yeah, right. What do you
It's
think's
happened a couple times. I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
people post
yeah,
it online, and I'm just like, wow, I had no idea that was happening while we were doing that.
yeah.
well,
But
what's
that's weird.
what's your pain remains on this album?
Uh, Forevermore, maybe. I don't know, but it depends how you see Pain Remains.
Yeah.
Really,
Mm.
they're all good songs. It's just I think the whole album in general has a roller coaster of emotions. I think Pain Remains also had Pain Remains. The trilogy had a roller coaster of emotions. I think the whole album is just that in
A
a
roller
way.
coaster.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think Pain Remains like doing the trilogy opened us up, I think, as a band to be able to be like we can talk about our real emotions. And I
Yeah.
think we just kind of took that and put it across an entire record. I think the experience, I think I take it as the experience we learned from doing Pain Remains. And the evidence we got from playing it live and stuff like that. Like to me, playing Pain Remains was always like my favorite moment live, just because I feel like people got so immersed into it. It wasn't like take your phone out, video it, or like whatever. Like it was more so you saw people's real emotions, real reactions to it, and I thought I love that because I like to me it's like a very honest reaction to it. Um, so I've always enjoyed that live. We haven't really been playing much new material because we've only
Yeah,
been
of course.
one festival run, so we haven't really experienced that
Yeah.
at
It's
least
new.
that much. But yeah, I think to me, like I don't know if there is a Pain Remains on this record, but I also don't know if I would want a Pain Remains on this
No,
record.
I
You know what I'm
guess I'm
saying? I
saying like that resonance, but you can't know that. You
no, yeah,
can't know
It's
that.
yeah,
too
That's
soon. The album hasn't
it's
yeah,
come out
literally an
yet.
yeah.
absurd question because
Go-
you don't know what's next. So War Machine, I don't know,
Yes,
the riffs in that tune are filthy. It's awesome.
awesome, hell
Yeah.
yeah. That's yes,
Yes. Yeah, that was my question. How do
that's
they
perfect.
how do they sort of come to you? I mean, it's got so much pace. It's got like galloping horses kind of level
I
business.
think my big hole come from was like I love like a lot of the older metal bands that came before us. You know what I'm saying? I feel like just like listening to like just when I think of like a metal band, I just picture like Metallica in the '80s and just like James Hetfield in this like all black and like Explorer guitar. And I'm like when I picture like as a young kid, when you picture a metal band, I picture that, and I'm just like, how do you channel that for a song? And it was just kind of like being inspired by these like metal bands that kind of got me into metal and like just kind of tipping my hat to that is kind
Yeah.
of what that song kind of is. And yeah, that to me is like is just like for me from like my perspective is like an ode to like the bands before us.
Yeah, right. How did you go into that, Will? That song, that pretty filthy tune, to be honest.
It was hard for
Yeah.
me in the same way that Adam was saying at one point. It was like it's hard for him to write stuff that he wasn't feeling, and at the time I wasn't feeling especially angry, and that was a very angry song, and so we almost had to do like a sit down and figure
Yeah.
out the things that made me angry. It was like, all right, well, what makes you angry? And I'm like, well, this kind of pisses me off. And they were like, all right, now imagine you're just fucking have a gun and you're
Yes.
feeling that. And I'm like, all right, I think I can work with that. And then we just went in and there you go, the song's done eventually. It took
Oh,
a while.
that's awesome.
It was hard for me because I'm so used to just going and on this one we were like, dial it back. We
Yeah,
don't need to go skibbity dibbity. We could just go Lamb of God and it'll be great.
and that was a challenge for me as far as like musically was the same thing, and that's thankfully like I kind of had that moment before like showing it to everyone. I was like always I'm so used to putting so much into every part that I write. I'm like I need to like dial this down to be like meat and potatoes, almost caveman-esque, where it's like very like I just picture someone drinking a beer at a tailgate at like a football game. Like that's what I just pictured. I'm like it has to be simple, and I'm like it has to be like this, and it's like also like kind of what Will was saying. It's like kind of hard to write an angry song if you're not angry. And from the stuff I know about Will's not so much someone that's going to be like, I'm angry. I'm more the someone that's going to be angry. It's very easy. Like I will be like, if I'm angry, it's like you see that emotion. Will is more like sad and has other emotions. Like seeing Will angry is like really hard. Like I've seen Will angry like maybe like 2 times in my entire life. And it's not a common emotion. So I'm like, yeah, you got to write a pissed off, angry song where some like, that's not your natural, like, that's not like a default emotion that comes to you more organically, you know? So like, I know I can imagine that being really challenging because it was just like, I remember sitting down and being like, what pisses you off? And it's just like, anyone who's been around Will and seen Will's always like happy, having a good time, really play for it. And then you're like, you have to be angry right now. And just like, that's not his like go-to thing.
Well, it's kind of hilarious because the way you sing and scream and growl, and you're a sunny little piece of the world. You're a sunny human. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. Well, it came out really good. You guys got there. You got him there. You got him to the darkness, and well, you're already in the darkness. A Nameless Hymn has a real 3-dimensional feeling of space and a universe you created. Was that like a conscious thing, or am I being a weirdo?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just fucking throwing shit out. I've said some.
I like it. I like it. Throw out more good words like that. It makes us sound mad smart and shit. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. You got a universe.
It was just an evil song. It sounded evil, and we were just like, let's just fucking find a way to write something evil. And I think, I grew up Christian. I think everybody in the band, unfortunately or fortunately, whatever, had a moment of that, and it was just easy for all of us to write like an anti-Christian style song. I mean, it definitely was for me. Like I have a lot of I don't know what you want to call it, like loathing towards certain parts of like big religion and shit. And I don't know. I love writing stuff like that. It just felt easy.
You're honoring the black metal tradition of, like you didn't quite burn it. You could have burned a church. That would have been cool.
That was on the mood board. It was a burning church.
That was on the mood board.
It was a burning church with it was a burning church.
I forgot all about that. The person who gave me the idea for that song, I think, was Andrew.
I bet.
Because I was just bouncing ideas off of him, and he was just like, "What if you're just like a dude who's just dying, and he's having his last words to God about how fucking pissed he is that he gave like everything for this dude who didn't give a shit." And I was like, well, that's a great fucking idea. Let's go with that.
Okay, and if a kid 15 years from now finds this album and it saves their life, what do you hope they took from it?
I hope that they're more honest with themselves and the way that they feel. I don't know. This album is very emotional, and there's a lot of real things that went into it. And I hope that when people hear it, they take what they can from it. I guess I don't know. This is very much what I hope to be, an album that when we play live, it's not just cell phones out watching us. It's really people just fucking enjoying the shit out of it and jumping and singing and screaming. I don't fucking know, whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
So,
what was the most fun to make? Which song was the most fun to make?
Lionheart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Easily.
Lionheart, like every time we listened to it, it just put a smile on my face, and it sounded like you were riding a dragon.
It's
so to me, I think we had the most fun with that song. I think it was like a challenge, but once we kind of got over the hurdle and accepting like this is meant to be this type of song, then it became easier for like I think everybody. And then I think we just had the most fun with it. Like we all did vocals on it, which was really cool, which is a really like fun moment on the record.
I love that.
I'd say Lionheart is probably the most fun, I would say, which is not really common within writing a Lorna Shore song. It's like, what song we can have fun doing? But like that to me was like probably the most fun.
Well,
that was a good moment for sure. I can't wait to see like the behind the scenes videos one day of just all of us in a small room singing.
It was that was the most fun.
You guys made a really good album. You should be real proud. And I can't wait to see it in December at Good Things Festival.
There you go.
That's going to be a good time. This is Lorna Shore. They have a new album called I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me, and you should go and let it fester within you like some black ramen.